inside the fence. Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters and teach them how to dance. Let's get rich and build a house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. From way up there, you and I, you and I.
Yeah. Okay. Snake, good. I try to tell him both. I try to tell him both.
Okay, what's good? This is How to Live. Hosted by me, Adam Michalesko. I'm with Haley Marie McClain Hill. Haley, I'm so happy to have you on. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, hey, Adam. Thank you so much. This is going to be so fun.
Yes. So before I start all my podcasts this way, I probably caught you off guard, so I should have told you this beforehand. But what is your song of the day? Do you have a song that you always vibe to?
Oh my goodness. Song of the day. Have you, you know what? I'm going to pull it up right now. And I should have prepared. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't tell you about it. That's my fault. I didn't prepare either. I forgot.
You know, I think you did, actually. That's the thing. I think you did.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm really into, like, super chill, like, car music type of thing. Like, drive through, like, cool scenery. So, like, I always think I'm in, like, a movie or something. So,
yeah.
I really like this one song. It's called Show Me by Big Wild and 100 Waters. It's just, like, total, like, all... I don't know what the genre is called. It's just, like, chill vibes.
Oh,
total.
I gotta listen to that.
Yeah, you should look into it. It's so calming and, like, movie setting. Very dramatic.
Do you feel like, do you always think about your life like you're in a movie type of thing?
All the time.
Me too. That's exactly how I roll. So yes. you said a chill vibe. So I went to the album I've been listening to. He used to go by the name of Mike Stud, but now he's just called himself Mike. And he has a song called What I Know. So I'll pick that as my song. That I like. That's more of a chill vibe type of thing.
I love it.
Yes. So. Yeah, I had all these, like I said, I tried to like make this more of a conversation now. I tried it with my last guest, Mason. He was a cool guy because he did it on his podcast. But I just saw you were at this event yesterday, and your business got into a magazine. So what was that feeling like? I just wanted to know that right off the bat.
Definitely. So, it's funny. I started Torch back in July, and I just like, I actually have another business too. It's just like more of like passion thing.
Yep, so, I saw that.
Yeah. So I have like a women's retreat business, and when I was getting into the retreat business, I was looking at locations, and one of the locations was Napa Valley. And I had my first one in Napa. And when I was starting to do that, I was like, okay, I need to do some PR stuff, like just to like, who knows, like maybe a magazine in Napa was going to say like, oh, look at this women's retreat or something like that. Like, I don't know, like me trying to think big, like immediately, even though we just started.
Of course. Always do that.
Right. I'm like, okay. So I reached out to one of the magazines in Napa, got connected with this woman who was like, I have all these connects like in San Fran, and they would love to hear your story and like talk to you about this, whatever. So she got me in contact with this magazine called Modern Luxury, and like they have multiple cities like San Fran, Texas, like I think there's like Austin, Miami, New York, like they have them all over. And she got me in contact with the people, and they're like, yeah, we'd love to run a story on you. It's like about dynamic women in the Bay Area and like what we're starting and stuff like that. So I said, okay, sounds good. So I reached out to them, like, yeah, let's do the story. And then they did it. That was like probably in like August or something like that. And then so they didn't actually put it in until September, the September edition. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I've never, never done this before. So it was awesome. And they just highlighted Torch and like the whole thing, and we can get into it. But they did that. And then 2 or 3 Mondays ago, I haven't heard from them since September. It's December now, right? So I haven't heard from them. They run the story, and I'm like, okay, thank you, this is amazing, sending it to all my family, whatever. And then 3 or 4 Mondays ago, I was on Monday Night Football, and so the the guy from the magazine was like, he emailed me. He said, I saw you on Monday Night Football. Like, congratulations and all this stuff. And I was like, thank you. And he's like, well, we're having a holiday party. Do you want to come? Like, and I was like, well, sure. So then that's why I went to San Fran yesterday. I took off of work and I was like, might as well show up and say thank you for the article. And it was great meeting everyone. It was cool.
I mean, that is freaking awesome. I mean, you hit on a lot of stuff that I was going to talk about. And like, I think that's like, so one, I mean, that's so cool to be featured in a magazine, especially just starting a business. Cause, I have a business as well. It's called Out on a Limb. Actually my second drop is dropping today. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited about it. Actually, what's really crazy about this is, so I have a vision board that's like right here, and I've made it about 2-3 years ago. There was one of the slides I put on there, and it just I just so happened to reread it again 2 days ago, I want to say. And keep in mind I made this 2-3 years ago, and I forgot about this slide a while ago. I forgot about it. But on one of the things it said, make a clothing line and shoe line. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that right now. Well, the clothing line.
That is amazing. And we can talk, oh my gosh, clothing line and all that stuff all day long.
I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, I know, me too. Literally obsessed. It's like the best thing ever. Like, and putting your your touch into it and like all your fashion, your style and everything. And like when you start it, I mean, when you have those goals and then you're like, holy crap, I'm about to drop my second thing. Like, when you have to get the money and then you have to think about how you want to do it and what you want, the website, all this stuff. It's like so much. So I'm so proud of you. That's what I want to say.
No, I'm proud. Well, that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you. Like I was like, when we got this episode, like when we started, like we were just talking about before, but like when we followed each other, I was like seeing what you do. I was like, oh my gosh, this girl's like, I mean, not the cheerleading part, but everything else she's doing, like that I'm like focused on. And we went to Penn State, so I thought that was really cool. I was like, I got to get this person on, and then that's how I ended up that's what hit me to remind myself to message you is when I saw you on ESPN.
There we go. It's perfect. We're supposed to talk today. That's really what it is.
That's all. Yes, you're right. Oh, and sorry, I should have shaved. I forgot I should have shaved. That was my fault.
You're totally fine. Totally. I'm like in my pajamas in the bottom half. It's all good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. So, okay. So, so I did want to hit on, before we hit on anything else really, about the ESPN feature. So, I know you started in the ROTC. Was that, I'm assuming that was during college. And then afterwards you did something with, or then I guess you transitioned fully to Air Force then, correct?
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and then when ESPN reached out to you, what was that feeling like? I'm so curious about that.
Well, yes, and I saw that you kind of worked with them a little bit, so it's amazing. Like to have them. They found my story through another story that I did in like a local news type of thing with Sacramento. They interviewed me about Torch and being on 49ers and stuff like that, and they saw my story and they did a salute to service game was coming up, Monday Night Football, and they were gonna have. Do you follow NFL at all, or like the 49ers?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So they were gonna have Kittle do like a salute to service type of thing. So oh my gosh, I think he's like a wide receiver or he's something.
Tight end.
Tight end. Okay, sorry. I figured I was like, he's not small, but he's bigger. Okay, so our tight end, they were going to have him do something, and they're like, well, why don't we have somebody who's actually in the military and part of the organization? So they reached out to my coach for Gold Rush. So that's what our cheerleading team is called, Gold Rush. And she was like, yeah, like totally. Do you want to do this? You got to take off of work. You got to just come down to the stadium, and like they want to run a piece, they want to run a commercial, and they want to do the whole thing. And then she pulled me aside after practice and told me this, and I was like, because usually if you get pulled aside after practice, you're in trouble. You know how it is. Like in the professional world, like if they're pulling you aside, like you're in trouble. So I was like, shit, like I'm about to get in trouble. And then she's like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, please don't kick me off. And so basically she's like, no, they want to do a feature. And I said, that is so awesome. So we made it happen. We had to move and shake, and like it was like she told me Saturday, and then like we started filming Tuesday, and it was just like boom, boom, boom. So it was awesome.
Oh my, that is so freaking cool. Yeah, it's actually that crew, for Monday Night Football. I've worked with them before. That this year, like I know, like I know Lisa. Did you meet Lisa when you were there? Lisa Salters.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, because she went to Penn State too, and so I've worked with her before, and like the whole crew, they're all nice.
Oh my gosh, yes, they're amazing. So professional and just like geniuses when it comes to like what shots you want to get and everything. And I love learning that too, because like when you're starting a clothing brand, right? Like you have to know the production side of it for like the shoots and all this stuff. So I'm like,
exactly.
Oh, that's a good look. And I'm like telling them ideas. They're like, oh, how do you know this? I'm like, well, I do a little stuff on the side, Like, so it's good. It was fun.
Well, that's freaking awesome. Like, so I worked with them actually through Penn State. I started like a gig one time. Someone asked me if I wanted to work. His name was Bob Martin. He was like the guy for communications. That was my major, to be on TV and whatnot. And one day he was like, "Do you want to work the Penn State Ohio State whiteout game for ESPN?" I was like, yeah.
yes, and yes, and yes.
Yeah. So he was like, take this opportunity and run with it. So I made the connections, and that's how I started doing stuff. So I guess I'm considered freelance because I'm working behind the scenes right now. Like, it's like not consistent work. It's just games that I can make it to, like around my area. And then I might work the Super Bowl, so that'd be kind of cool in LA.
That would be sick. Hopefully we're there. Hey, maybe
that'd be awesome. But it's so the goal is to work my way up on TV, so we'll figure that out. But I mean,
do it. You can do it. Put it on your vision board.
It's on there somewhere. I have it for sure. But I'm trying to think. So you're 26 now, I saw. So you had to be, when I was a sophomore, you had to be a senior then, I'm assuming, because I just turned 24. So I think we might have been the same area.
Probably, yeah. I graduated in 2018. I did 5 years. So
okay, I was 2016. So we're definitely.
Yeah, we totally saw each other probably walking campus or something, going to the den. I don't know.
Yeah, how crazy is that? There you
go.
Was the den your favorite spot, or was it Champs, or what?
It was the den. And yeah, I just it has my heart. But I love Champs too. Champs is cool. It was just like newer when I was there, So like already was kind of established in the den. So
you can't change at that point.
No.
So when you came to Penn State, then what was your focus? Like, what was your major then?
Yes. So I came in 2013. I came in as a chemistry major, actually.
Oh wow.
Yes, it was not very good. I literally failed my first 2 or 3. I think it was my first 2 physics tests. Like it was like physics. The basic ones, the weed out classes, like your freshman year. Oh my God. I got like a 2% on an exam, literally. You know how it is. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. And with the Air Force, with ROTC, you have to come in as a STEM degree. So like science, tech, engineering, or math. And so it was like, well, I'm pretty good at science, so let me try this. And I was thinking about like the medical track a little bit, And so then once I failed physics, I was like, I guess this isn't for me. So I went into the ROTC detachment and talked to my leadership, and they were like, well, you can become an engineer. You can switch your major to engineering or math. And I was like, okay, both of them suck. I'm not good at making things. I don't want to make anything. So I guess I'll just do math. And they were like, sounds good. Good luck. And if you fail, you lose your full ride scholarship. So I was just like, all right, no pressure here. So I switched to math. It was like my second semester or something like that, and had to grind from then.
Oh my gosh. It's a journey for sure.
Very much. Literally when I graduated, because that's why I did 5 years, because I had to do an extra year with classes and stuff. And when I graduated, the night before I walked, I was waiting on an exam. And it was like, I was literally like in a corner of my room, just like rocking back and forth. I was just like, please pass this exam. Like,
There's another prank moment.
so seriously, I'm like, oh my God. Like if I fail right now, I can't go into the Air Force. So it was just like a lot of pressure. It was a lot.
I mean, you shared chemistry. Chemistry was hard. Accounting was I had a business minor and I switched out of it because of accounting. I sucked at accounting.
I can't even imagine. I literally never took that class, but I've heard it's very hard. Yeah,
For
we all
whatever,
had that one.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing, but at the same time, it's like it makes you who you are. So we're not stressed.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You become very resourceful. That's all I have to say. Very resourceful.
Yeah. So were you on the cheerleading team all 4 years then?
I was, yes. I came in as a freshman. It was amazing, and I did it for 4 years straight. And then for my 5th year, I could have cheered again, but I decided to coach. They asked me to come back as a coach, so I just
Oh no way.
Coach. Yeah.
That's freaking awesome. Did you? This is such an oddball question right now, but do you remember was there like a picture maybe you took or something, and like it's on like a flag or whatever? Because my friend had a Snapchat and sent it to me, and I could have sworn it was you on a picture of like a Penn State flag, and it was like you as a cheerleader, and I was like, I know her.
Huh. You'd have to show me. But maybe, I don't know. They took millions of pictures and they don't tell us where they put them. So I don't know.
I'm gonna have to ask her. I'll send it to you afterwards because she has it in her room, and I was like, because she's in the ROTC as well. So I was like, maybe there was a connection.
I think you're right. Yes. It did a couple things for ROTC. Yeah, I think
that is so funny. Yes, yeah. That was just an oddball question, but I saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I'm legit having her on my show.
Very cool. Yes. I was a poster child for ROTC stuff a lot of the time. So even though I wasn't the best cadet, it was just like, with cheerleading and being involved, like they like to showcase that part of their.
Well, it's the personality too. I mean, you have a good personality, so I mean that gets you always first.
Thank you, Adam. You too.
Thanks. Means a lot. And sorry if I don't know if it's the connection, like if it's like lagged at all or whatever. It looks like that on my side. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. If it's me, just tell me. I can try to fix it. So no,
the connection's good. I think it's like just like a second or two off, as we were talking. And that's my. I don't know if I look like that too. This is like a new app for me, so it's like I don't know how to work it.
You're good. Trust me, you're good. You're good.
All right, we're good. So after you graduated, then are you into modeling at all? But have you done that yet?
I have done some modeling.
Okay.
But in general, it's more of like cheerleading and then like PR stuff, like nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
I was curious about that because I'm trying to get into modeling, and so I was curious if you knew of anything.
Yeah, I know. That's like one space where I feel like, I dabbled in a little bit in Atlanta, like a little bit, but it wasn't anything like you really just kind of, and it depends on how you want to go. Like you could just do it on social media and reach out to, brands and do it that way. I have done like brand ambassador type of stuff, but like nothing agency or anything like that. Nothing like that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that. But okay, so after Penn State then, you what was the next step then? Like how did you end up getting involved with cheerleading and getting on the 49ers?
Yes. So once I graduated, I moved down to Atlanta, and that was my first assignment. So like with the military, you have assignments and they are set times, like set periods of time. So that was a 1-year assignment. So I was down there. I was a recruiter. I got to talk to kids all day about Air Force ROTC and like the possibilities of being in the Air Force pretty much. So that was a blast. And during that time, I had a lot of, free time in my evenings. So my schedule permitted it. And I tried out and I was an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader for a year.
That's freaking awesome.
Yes. So that was like my first step with like getting into the NFL space. I actually was recruited in college to cheer for the Miami Dolphins, but yes, but the Air Force was like, you're moving to Atlanta, and so I had to turn down that opportunity.
Oh.
So yeah, I know that was kind of like, oh my gosh, I would have loved to be in Miami, but it's all good. Atlanta was amazing, and we got to do some cool stuff. So did that, and then once my time was up with the military, I had to move, and so the military was like, all right, where do you want to go? And so they give you five choices pretty much, and you rank them in order, and they try to give you your top 2. So my choices were Alaska, New Mexico, Jersey, North Dakota, and California. And I was like, please put me in California. Like, please. I can't do Alaska. I can't do the cold. So pretty much I got California, thank goodness. And that's when I came and I did like a training session, because this is a 3-year assignment. So I did a training session. I went to Mississippi for like 4 months or something like that, came back, and then COVID hit. And so, yeah, like everything kind of stopped with sports and cheerleading and everything. They weren't doing tryouts. And I was like, oh, like I would have loved to try out for the Niners or maybe Golden State, like do NBA or something like that. And everything shut down. And so, or I was even thinking about the Kings, the Sacramento Kings. And so everything got shut down. So I didn't cheer for a year. And then this year I was like, I think I want to get back into it. And so I tried out for Niners and made the team. So that was awesome.
That is so freaking cool. So, I mean, the experience has to be amazing so far. I'm sure you're loving it.
Oh my God. It's incredible. I mean, again, I cheered at the best college there is. So
yes.
It's really hard to beat like 110,000 fans, because a lot of NFL stadiums are like 80,000 max, I mean, nothing crazy, but it's just a different experience, right? Like in Atlanta, it was the Dome. So I've never cheered in a dome before. Like, that was really cool. And then now I'm back like in an outside stadium, but this is like the Niners. And so it's like the legacy, the tradition, the like, all the Super Bowls and all the things. So it's just like a very magical experience to be a part of such like a prestigious team. But I've been a part of such awesome teams, so I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I mean, of course you chose the best college or best football, atmosphere in the country. I'm being a part of the Whiteouts, I'm sure were incredible. Were you a part of the famous like return with Chris Olave? Like it was a block kick or whatever. You were part of that then?
Oh my God, yes. And it's such a funny story because I was there, and how they did that game, sometimes they didn't have us all cheer at the same time because of like something went on. I don't know. They had like, so we have 2 teams for the cheerleading team. They have the co-ed team with boys and girls, and then they have the all-girl team with just all girls. So we would switch quarters. Is that right? Yeah, we would switch quarters. So like first quarter, I think that game, it was first and third quarter was all girl, and I was on the all girl team. And then second and fourth quarter was co-ed. So we were allowed to leave after if we weren't cheering the last quarter, and it was snowing and it was cold. And so I left the third quarter and went home, left the game because I was like, we're losing, like whatever. I don't want to be here anymore. I left, and then all of a sudden, the most amazing thing happened. They returned the thing. I think it was Marcus Allen, right? Marcus, wait.
Might have. Yeah, I don't know why I think Chris Allen, but that's Marcus Allen.
Yeah, it was amazing, and like I'm all the girls come back from the game who were cheering the fourth quarter, like it was amazing, like oh my gosh, and I'm like sitting at home, like, are you kidding me? I can't believe I left the game. So that was my experience, but. Oh my gosh. I mean, I did the Rose Bowl. I cheered at the Rose Bowl. So that was awesome. That was like my first time in California, actually. I'd never been before. So that was cool. Yeah, did that. And then, I cheered in Michigan. I cheered, because we did a couple away games. Everything. And then basketball season was amazing. Volleyball, we cheered volleyball, women's and men's. So our women's team is amazing, that. And we did like a soccer game one time. We do hockey. We do everything. So I got to be a part of all the teams, which is cool.
I mean, and there's probably a lot of work that, the practice and whatnot. Even now, I'm sure it's probably, it's it's hard to like balance everything, I'm sure, with practicing.
Yeah, you just kind of make it work. You know, you're struggling some days, and some weeks are just like, oh my God, you know, if you have finals and practice and games and this, and it's just like, okay, I guess I'm not sleeping this week. It's just what it is. But I mean, it's like, it's just a lot of just, you know, being dedicated and loving what you do. And I love what I did. So I was just like, well, I'm going to make it happen. You know how it is.
That's too funny. I love that. So,
Yeah.
okay. So if someone comes up to you now and was like, because when people ask me, you know, what I do, oh, I look pale too. What's going on today? The camera's like,
You're
I'm tan.
so funny.
I'm tan. Trust me, I'm tan.
Trust me, I'm very pale right now too. It's like no sun.
It's just the lighting. But anyway, so because like when someone comes up and asks me what I do, like nowadays, it's like it's almost intimidating because I feel bad because I don't like, you know, when you graduate college, you know, you want to say like, oh, I have this job, blah, blah, blah. But like, because I do baseball and because I have all these other things and like, I'm like technically freelance and all this stuff, like I tell everyone what I do and they're like, that's freaking awesome. But at the same time, I feel weird because it's not like the normal thing, you know, the normal thing is you get a job and whatever. And that's it. But like, I like to be different. That's my shirts, they have like normal sucks be different on the inside of the sleeve. Like it's like a hidden message.
That's
like,
so cool.
Yes, thank you.
I need that shirt.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll send you the line. It comes out today,
Please.
the new line. But
I got you.
but it's like it's what am I trying to say? It's oh no the next line I'm coming out next year. It's gonna be a different. I'm calling it "No Dreams, Just Gold." My neighbor helped me come up with that quote. She told me it. But
That's epic. I love it. I love it.
But not to promote myself. That was my fault. But
no, keep going. I'm here. I am like yes. All the while. I love it. I love it.
It's your episode, so I'm sorry.
No, it's good. And wait, are you doing shoes too?
I'm not doing shoes yet. Eventually, maybe I'll dabble. Then if baseball hits, then I'll try to get into shoes.
I love it.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I know I didn't mean to cut you off, but like
no, go ahead.
Like what you're doing is the not atypical thing like to do in the world, but like honestly, own that. Like own that. I think it's absolutely amazing. And like don't feel I don't know where you're going with like exactly what you're asking me, but like, you know, everyone has the choice and everyone doesn't want to get into entrepreneurial things. Like not everyone wants to maybe some people just want the security and like the stability and to know like, okay, I'm working 9 to 4 or I'm working 9 to 5 and my weekends are free and like my nights are free and like I don't have to worry too much and I'm getting paid pretty well. Like some people just don't want to, people love that and some people don't. Like for me, I can't wait to not have a boss. Like I can't wait to not have a boss.
Yes.
I can't wait to like just like let my creative juices go and like meet other creative people like yourself and like just like immerse myself in something that makes me so excited every single day. And like I like working hard and I like being like preoccupied and I like being busy and I like going places and traveling and like my whole life. I think I was just telling my boyfriend like last night, I was like, I want to experience the most out of life. Like that's what I want. That's what I'm going for. So there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. And like having like your secure job to like fund your like passion projects and stuff like that. Like I love it.
Yeah. And it's scary, you know, but where I was going with that question is like when someone asks you what you do, what is like, because I mean, you have your business and you have cheerleading and everything. Like, how do you describe what you do then?
Well, as of right now, I'm still in the United States Air Force. So I am an officer in the United States Air Force. And that is, you know, my number one priority right now. I am separating in June. So next June, I will officially be separated from the military and a veteran. And then I won't say that anymore, but that's like probably like my top thing that I say. And then I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businesswoman now. I'm a CEO. I'm a founder and, you know, of 2 companies and I love to dance. So I'm a professional cheerleader and that's just what I do.
That's so freaking cool.
That's just what I do. I think from like since I was a young girl, like my mom always kept me very involved in a lot of different things. And I'm sure with you too. And like in order to get into like schools like Penn State and stuff like that, you have to showcase that you're like a well-rounded person. So like, it's like I was always in, doing well in school. I was in like 3 sports. I was in 10 clubs. I was always doing something. Like I played an instrument. I did this, like all the things. It's just like, I think that's really important. And like, even now, like I think learning and like expanding what you're doing constantly is so important. Like you can't ever stop learning. You can't ever stop doing new things. Like now and then like you said, have a vision board, write down all your goals and like live by that. I feel like I'm a happier person when I have like these extreme goals. Like,
yes.
Honestly, you'll be the first one to know. I think that I am trying out for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders next season. So
no way.
Yes.
You're gonna try to get on the show too?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go.
I know. I'm really, really excited. It's between us two right now, and then anyone who views this. But I am going for it, and that's like the best team of the NFL. With
It's the Mecca.
It's the Mecca. It's like epicness. Like oh my gosh. The uniform, the culture, the everything, the community, like I am going for it. So I decided, and so I'll probably be moving to Dallas soon.
Oh my gosh, good for you. So that's going to bring up another question. And like, so you're so we we both live in the same area as we established, but like so, and then you were in Atlanta and California, like so. I want I cannot wait to move. So I'm still like in my like family house, and like I cannot wait to move. Like it's it's getting to that point, but. Yeah. Like how do you have the comfortability, especially like having a relationship, like of just moving and feeling good with everything?
I truly believe you, and again, this is kind of like with my retreats, like my tagline is like seek what sets your soul on fire. And so like anything that gets me excited, or I'm like, oh, like that looks fun, I make myself do it. Like I don't care what happens. Like I'm like, I am such the person of like, you have to live in order to like live your life. Like you really have to go after it. You can't be scared. You can't be scared. You have to truly be fearless, like with what really makes you happy, because no one else is going to know it. No one else is going to make you do it. No one else is going to give it to you. No one else is going to do it. Like you have to embody like fearlessly going after your goals and your dreams. Like you just have to. So I just tell myself, I'm like, Haley, like whatever's supposed to happen is supposed to happen. And like, you can't have any regrets. No regrets out here. You got to do it.
No regrets.
And whoever's for me is for me, right? Like if my relationship doesn't work because of it, it just wasn't supposed to work out. And I was supposed to go in this different path, So it's like, again, that's pretty cutthroat for my boyfriend. I'm like, you better keep up, but it's just, we're all trying to live. We're all trying to do the best that we can. And I think like, if you have something that you want to go after, you have to do it. Even if you fall short of it, like even if I don't make it or even whatever, like that was supposed to happen, but I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't go for it. And like, I know I'll have support anywhere I go.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you're incredible. Like that's the mindset I have, but like, I get scared of like, say I want to move somewhere else. Right. And I'm like, that I want to go there? And especially like with, I'm traveling a lot. It's like, that's another thing. Like, cause I don't know a set place. I want to get a set place and like travel. I love traveling, trust me. And like, so it's so hard, but I mean, I applaud you for that.
You got to go for it. And like, we have the internet now. We have so many resources. Like, you're fine. Like, honestly, people are like, oh, like, what if? I'm like, yeah, but like, what if it's the best time of your life? Like, literally, like, go for it. You have to do it. Like, I think also being in the military, I have people and friends all over the world now, too. So, like, I took, like, a European trip to, like, New Year's ago. I went to Ireland and England and Paris and all the things. And, like, I was, like, with my friends, and I had my friends there, and they were stationed over there. So we did a little trip together. I'm like, let's do it. And they're like, okay. So it's good. But if I didn't, I would still go by myself probably. And then I would hop on like an app and like meet people.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have a travel buddy. I'll travel with you. I like traveling too.
Let's do it. Oh my God. I'm telling you, once I get out of the military, like it's a wrap. I am like going around the world.
I love it. That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something in there, which this was actually, it's funny. You hit on the questions that I have like ready, which is awesome. So your tagline is where is it? Oh, I just wrote it down too.
It's okay. Sequence sets your soul on fire.
Sequence set your soul on fire. Yes. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
So sequence set your soul on fire. That's your tagline. Because I was gonna mention, because mine is I have all these like quotes that I have on the vision board as well. And my top one is set a goal so high that if you achieve it, it'll blow your mind.
Amazing. It will literally blow your mind.
Yeah,
it is
like
the
you have.
best feeling. Yes. And here's the thing too. I've read a lot of books, and I've been doing a lot of research and like just about self-development and like life in general. I feel like when you get out and like I'm 26, I'm not too old, but like I feel like I'm in a stage where, you know, you start thinking about bigger picture things and like life and the meaning and like all those things. And I read this really interesting. Well, have you ever heard of Jordan Peterson?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy. He's like popping right now. He talks about like how people who go after what they want and they succeed, those little like seeds of like successful events and stuff like that, they allow you to pursue other things that will potentially make you be more successful. So like it basically comes to the point of like people who go after that and achieve that, they achieve more and they achieve more things because they have that what is the word? The self-confidence in themselves to know that they can succeed and they can go after it. People who like they don't go after it or they might fail or something like that, they might have more hesitation, right? Like it's just kind of like an animal thing. Like it's just we're animals. Like when we get, you know, when we go through failures and stuff like that, we kind of don't go after things forcefully. But so the thing is like to combat that is to know that like everything happens for a reason. So like if you don't make something, like go after something else, like find something else that's going to click for you, or like it's a learning process. Like learn what did you do wrong, go after it again. So it's like there's just so many cool things. Like now that I've accomplished a lot of really awesome things, I'm just like, why stop now? Like I'm about to become the president.
Keep going, yeah.
Exactly. Like
you're on a roll.
Watch me be the president. Exactly. Exactly. You know? Like you just have to be confident in yourself, and but in order to do that, you have to go after it. And you have to take those big risks. So I'm telling you, this DCC thing, like Dallas Cowboys cheerleading, scares the shit out of me. But honestly, I'm like, if I can be in the military, I can join this team. So I'm like,
yeah. I mean, it's a confidence. It all comes down to the confidence in doing something. I mean, where's this? Here it is. I dropped the book. But it's called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. It's by this guy named Bob Proctor, and this is so I read books, so I love reading. And he came up with I guess he's a big motivational speaker, but it's kind of the same stuff as what George Peterson was talking about. Like like believe in yourself and like you can do that type of stuff, because when you believe, anything's possible, and like there's no stopping you. You know.
No stopping. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you for reading and like getting into it, because it is so important. Like sometimes you don't have time, whatever, but it's like those little nuggets of information like that I find. Like I keep notes, like that's like nuggets of information I've learned from books, and it's just like I'll go back and look, and like you can learn so much from that. And I fully believe like anything is possible in life. Like what we have all the tools now. We have all of the tools. Go for it. Like go for it.
No, you're 100% right, and like, and it's literally just the mindset, and I'm sure the military taught you self-discipline, because I need some bad self-discipline. Like I think of like a lot of stuff I want to do, right, and then I'm like, well, shit, how do I get mad at myself if I don't accomplish everything during the day, and. Sure. So I made a list. I restarted like making a list. I just finished it. So I'm like, I have stuff I want to do every day, stuff I want to do 3 to 5 days during the week, at the end of the week. So I'm trying to really follow this now. But self-discipline is a big thing.
It's a huge thing. And it's so funny. I will relay this also, and I'm not ashamed about it. I swear I think I have like ADD or ADHD or something like that. I swear. I'm going to get tested, because I'm the same way. Like I want to do a million things in the day. I want to do a million things in my life. And it's just like, I literally sometimes contemplate and I get like sad about it. I'm like, I want to do everything in this world. And I know that's not possible. Like,
you could.
Yeah, it's like it's possible but not possible, and so like it's just yes. I'm on my iPad right now. My boyfriend just gifted this to me, so now I have like this app called Notability, and like I'm trying to get like a calendar app to do the same thing as you're doing, like really get organized and just sit down and be like, all right, what is attainable today and stuff like that. It's constant battle.
It is, and it's funny that you mentioned that. When I was at Penn State, when I first moved there, I'm on my own and whatnot. I'm like, I was getting mad at myself because I couldn't do everything I wanted to in a day, and it was just learning how to live on your own. And so
Yeah.
I was doing like a work study program with the people in communications, and the lady named Brenda I was talking to, and she's a great person. But so shout out Brenda if you're listening to this. But anyway,
Ooh, Brenda.
see, I happened to ask her. I was like, is there a service at Penn State where like maybe they could help guide your life? Like you could talk about like how you can organize your life. And she's like, as a matter of fact, there is. And I was like, I had no idea. So I ended up going to this place. Her name was Natasha. I haven't talked to Natasha since I really graduated, but Natasha, I called her like my second mom. She was a great person.
Wow.
But it was funny. The very first day I went there, we had like I was just telling her about my life and whatnot, and she's writing stuff down. And at the end of the session, she's like, well, Adam, you don't have ADHD or anything like that. And I was like, great. I wasn't looking for that. It turns out she was a therapist. I had no idea. So I accidentally went to a therapist.
That is okay. Oh my God. That's great.
But
so
I didn't
talk to people.
Yeah, and I ended up going to her a lot just to talk. Like she was a great person, but like she helped me organize my life a little bit.
I love that. I need to find that. There's people out there who are making a killing off of that right now. I see things on Instagram all the time. It's like ADHD. It's like ADHD coaching, or like how to structure your life. If you have ADHD, or there's a whole thing out there. I mean, there's this girl. She has a company. She helps entrepreneurs who have ADHD, and you know how like everyone names their followers and so like kind of like funny little names, like, oh, these are my rock stars or something like that. Her followers are called squirrelpreneurs. Hilarious. I was like, this is me. I was like, I'm like, I don't have money to like pay for you right now because I'm investing it all into my business, but I'm like, soon I will come after you.
That's so funny. Yeah, go get tested to see if you have it. I wasn't planning on getting tested, but I didn't apparently. So, but I still have this like mindset. So
it's good. Honestly, it's not a bad thing, and I think that's the cool thing. And I might not have it either, but it's like I think it's an amazing. It's a gift. It's a gift to like want to create and to give back and like to be dedicated. So dedicated, you want to spend 24/7 doing something.
Yeah.
I think it's a gift.
It's like the mindset is how I always want to talk to someone or leave a conversation, no matter who I'm. I always like to show. You show me respect, I show you respect. That's how I don't care what you are, what you believe in, whatnot. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. But how I always like to leave a conversation is, having to put a smile on someone's face. I think that's the coolest thing.
100%, and you're so right. If you do that, you're gonna go so far in life. I honestly believe like how you make people feel, they'll remember that way more than what you do for people. Like
it's crazy. You don't think about that at the moment, but it's a thing. Like there's people like, I mean, I feel bad, but sometimes people come up to me and they're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, and I left a good impression on them, but I don't remember them. I feel bad, and then I eventually do.
Right, exactly. It is a beautiful thing, and I think if more people looked at it that way, like you can get so much. I've literally made my entire life through like relationships, genuine, honest relationships, through mentorship, through from coaching, from anything. Like you have to build those relationships. Those are so much more important than like hard skills. I honestly believe. Like I think it's important to know those, but like if you can genuinely bring people together, be a good leader, be a good person, like people just want to be around you and they want to give you things, and so you gotta be there.
It's about building that true entourage, that self circle that you want to see them succeed as bad as they want to see you succeed. I like it's about building that.
Exactly, and being genuine with it. Like don't be fake. I hate fake people. Like
that's my biggest pet peeve in life. Fake people. I hate that.
I know. You can read it from a mile away, and like sometimes I'll catch myself trying to be like nicer than or like honestly, like even coming into this, whenever I do podcasts, I'm like, okay, how am I feeling today? I'm gonna give them my most honest self. Like this is who I am right now. Like I'm a little hungry. I just had tea. Whatever. Like it's just like You just have to be your honest self, and people appreciate that more too. Like if you're very honest and you're very genuine and you really care,
Mm-hmm.
you're good to go. You're good to
Yeah,
go.
oh my gosh. I mean, this is so that same post I read, I was reading on your Instagram. It was when you were in the military, and you said your famous line, be fearless in pursuit of what set your soul on fire.
Yes.
So it also said that at that time, you just like 3 years prior, you just try to change your mindset and values.
Yeah.
What was the ultimate, like, shit, I gotta, start doing this. Like, what was the mindset that you wanted to change?
Wow, the sun just came out.
No, you're good.
Sorry. So I think when I moved out to California, I think the moment I realized that, like, it was like during COVID and stuff too. It was like I was just getting in this weird space where I was just like not really working out, like not really like, and I never have worked out, actually. I'll tell you that. I've never really focused on that because I'm kind of blessed with a nice body, whatever. And so I just, to be honest, like and then I've always been very active in college, and like when I cheered, like you're working out, but you're not thinking that you're working out, right? So I never like went to a, so like when I moved to California and I didn't cheer, you know how people, when you stop doing your sport, oh goodness, when you stop doing, I was trying. I was like,
you're good. Yeah, it's the glow. It makes it look good.
Yeah. You're good. When you stop doing your sport, I honestly think that is like a really big moment for a lot of people. They either like make it, or it either makes you or breaks you. Like, it's like, I think I love speaking with athletes and I love coaching because I try to show them that you're not just an athlete. You're not just learning like how to hit a baseball. You're not just learning like gymnastics. You're learning so many different things, like, and you're such an asset to society. You need to use those skills to be great. And so I looked at me not cheering, and I was just trying to like continue my life the way that I did, just without cheer, and it wasn't working. Like I was just like moody, I was whatever. So I was just like, I wasn't feeling great about myself. And so I was like, I need to change something. So that's the other thing, like identifying when you're feeling down, identifying like when you're not where you want to be, and don't get down on yourself, but just think about solutions and just like try to work with yourself, be gracious, and like understand that it's not going to happen in a day, but I identified it, and I was like, okay. And, I did get a lot of help from my boyfriend right now, and, he's just a good guy. And he was like, you need to get into like taking care of yourself, genuinely working out, eating well, setting goals, those types of things. And so I just started focusing on that. And it made me realize, like, you have people say like, oh, finding the balance. And then like, oh, how do you find the time? It's like, you find what you're passionate about, and you think you sit with yourself. You got to sit with yourself, and you have to sit in those uncomfortable times and like think about what makes you happy, what excites you, what sets your soul on fire, and go for it. And like, then you have to think, okay, discipline, what did I learn in the military so I can achieve my goals? Discipline, setting goals for yourself, looking a certain way, like, keeping myself physically, mentally in shape. Then what did I learn from cheer? What did I learn from dance? And like, what did I learn from like my parents? What did I learn from all these things? And then looking at other people on social media who are successful, instead of hating on them, look at what they're doing and like see and be inspired by them. You know what I mean? So it's just like flipping the mindset. When you get to a bottom point, it's like you have to flip your mindset to think like, how can I win this game of life? Like, how can I win this game? So I think that was the moment when I stopped cheering. I was just like, I do not like the way that I'm feeling, so I need to change something. And so
it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the mind. I mean, you're right. This is the mindset. Like my mindset so when I was in college, I was like, I want to do all this stuff. Like I just like, my mind was racing with stuff I wanted to do, but I was like, there was always that thing holding me back because it was like, oh, I have to be in school. I can't just do everything. But I was like, right when I was leaving school, I was like, there's no more excuses. Like I literally have to, I have the world in the palm of my hand. Like I can do whatever I want now because there's nothing holding me back now. I'm an adult. I have to figure this out. And I mean, that's the mindset.
It is. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You have the world literally right here. Like, you just pick what you want to do and you go for it.
Right.
You'll land, you know how they say too, like, shoot for the stars, you'll land on the moon, you know, even if you don't get to the stars. Like, it's like, you will just have those goals, you will become a better person. So it's a process. Life is a process, man.
Life is such a process. It's you gotta just sit down and enjoy it, because the struggles and everything growing up now, when you're successful down the line, you're gonna look back and be like, shit, that was crazy.
Exactly. And you have to enjoy the little moments, the little successes. You have to sit in the sad times. You got to do the whole thing. You have to experience life, like everything. You have to experience all the things. And you just continue trying to be a better person and try to grow every day. That's really what it is.
So what made you, so you just said you just started the brand Torch. You just, first off, what made you come up with the name Torch?
My God, it's so funny because when I started getting into like health and wellness, I wanted to be like a personal trainer. So everyone, right, on Instagram. But it's like, I was like, I want to get into this. So I always I'm a fire sign, you know, I'm a Sagittarius baby. My birthday's in like 9 days or 8 days now.
Oh, well, happy early birthday.
Thank you. I'll be 27. Super exciting. So, you know, I've always kind of resonated with fire and like how my grandma and like my family always says like, Haley, you have such a light, like you have such a light about you. And, you know, I started my like fitness program and I wanted like 3 tiers. So I started the first tier was like the torch. So it was like starting the fire, like, you know, like igniting it or whatever. And then I had one that was like, then the next one was like, you know, something fire or something. I forgot, whatever. It was like fire, set fire. I don't remember. And then it was like the third one was like wild and free or something like that, which is like you get all the classes and all the stuff, whatever, you know, just like thinking of tiers, trying to be a smart businesswoman. And when I saw Torch, like light the torch, I was just like, oh, there's just something like about that with like fire. And, like, yeah, I was just like, it's fire. It's like leading the way for other women. It's like, you know, it's powerful. It's a strong 1-word torch. And it's just like, you know, I just think it means like burning that inner fire inside you through fashion, through confidence, through like self-development, through all those types of things. And that's what I want to bring into my brands. Like I don't want it just to be a clothing brand. Like I want it to be inspirational. I want it to be, you know, like it to speak to people and it to be genuine. And I want it to be like unique and different. So I'm like, that's what we're going for, Torch.
I love it. And you started that this past June, you said? You started it up then?
In July, yeah.
In July.
Yes. And I have to tell you the story because it's funny and I know we're probably long right now, but
no, we'll go as long as, I mean, this is good stuff. I have no time limit. You're good.
Amazing. So pretty much I like have always been into fashion and like kind of my mom is a fashionista too. And I'm a cheerleader too. So like I know comfortable clothes and like I love Lululemon and like, you know, like all those things. And I love bodysuits like in general. So like the ones that snap because I'm very like I have a big torso and then like, you know, it's just kind of like it just works for me because I can wear my high-waisted jeans and like a bodysuit. I don't have to worry about tucking in or anything like that. And so like I go out in that type of outfit all the time. And so I like went out one night before, like on a Sunday, and I woke up late on a Monday for work, and I was like, shit, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late for work for the Air Force. And so I had my bodysuit still on, and I was like, this would be amazing if I could just take, you know, slip my pants on for, you know, my uniform and then just my top, and I don't have to worry about tucking a t-shirt on it, and then it's more comfortable, it's more lightweight, like it's just like whatever. So I was like, I would love to do this. So I start looking on the internet, and we have to have like a specific color for our uniform. So it's like, I can't just go to Target and get like a white bodysuit and it's like, okay, here it is. No, it has to be a specific color, specific cut. Like it has to be crew neck. It has to be like be short sleeve. Like it has to be everything. You can't find that. So I didn't find anything like this. So I start asking questions to all these people. Like I start reaching out to random like military manufacturers and stuff like that. I'm like, do you guys have like a bodysuit for women? They're like, what is that? And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I think I have something here. And so I just started like reaching out to people, and no one was like moving the way that I wanted them to move. I didn't get it the way that I wanted it. So I was like, screw this. I'm doing it myself. So I literally with like help from like a couple other people, I ordered like a mock one kind of from Shein, and I was like, okay, this is kind of the color. It's not the exact color, and this is the body shape that I need it to be. And so I started showing other women. I was like, this is my idea, and they're like, oh my God, we love it, but it's the wrong color. I was like, okay. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna get this weird military color? I'm like, so I found the t-shirt that we usually wear. I took it to like a fabric company down in LA, and I knew I wanted it all. I knew I wanted it all made in the US. I was like, I want it to be here. Like, it's just, with the economy and everything, I was just like, I think it's very important, and differentiates you from other brands too.
For sure.
You can charge more too, So it's I was like, okay. I went down to LA, found a fabric company, found a fabric that I liked, that I felt was comfortable. It was in white, and then I asked them to dye it the exact color as the t-shirt. So I was like, can you guys dye it this color? And they were like, yeah. So then they did that. I found a manufacturer down in LA. They referred me to somebody, and so they built it from scratch. So it was like straight from scratch, my bodysuit. And I was like, wait, we have to add something else onto this, because if it's just a bodysuit, like, okay. So I was like, we need to have like an embroidery on it. Like, I always loved embroidery.
There you go.
I always embroidered something. I was like, it just sets it apart. And so I thought, where can I put this where women in the military could wear it? Because we can't have anything on top. Like, we can't have anything on the shirt. So I decided to put it right below the belt line. So then when you put your pants on, you can't see it. But then like, it's kind of like your hidden thing. So it's like, put it somewhere where no one can see it, but they know it's there. And it's
That's
just like
so freaking cool.
Yes, it's like special, and they can feel good like when they're in their uniform, because that's the other thing. Like, you're wearing the uniform every single day. It's like not cute for women. It's just like a blob like type of thing. And I know it's not what it's about, but like, women like to look good, feel good, and like a lot of people do. The sun is like a lot right now.
No, you're good.
So yeah, I decided to do Fearless and that's my first collection. It's the Fearless collection, and I did it with my handwriting. So each piece has my handwriting embroidered with the word Fearless on it. So
that is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
My neighbor, she doesn't live there anymore, because she's same age as you, but I don't have to tell her about it. She's going to be a PA, but I have to tell her about that, because she's in the art. She graduated from RTC, but she's in the military as well.
Send her my way. I call them my women warriors. I want all the women warriors, because it's not just women in the military. It's like women who wear a uniform every day usually have to wear an undershirt, and it's just really uncomfortable. So it's like, you have something that stays tucked and it's tighter to your body. It's just more feminine.
Yeah. Wait, you might know her. She went to Penn State. Mia Casal. Is that?
I don't know her, because the ROTCs are like completely separate.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Air Force, Army, there's Navy and Marines. There's like, Penn State is one of the biggest attachments like for each grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was curious if you knew her, but anyway. Yeah. I mean, because when I was coming up with a name for my brand, I was like, I didn't know what to call it, and I was like, what do I live by? Like, what's my like lifestyle? And then someone said Out on a Limb, or I looked it up, and I was like, this is perfect, because there's so many meanings to Out on a Limb. Like, I don't know what Out on a Limb means to you, but for me, it means just do it. Like, take the risks, believe in yourself and go for it. And that's what I love about that,
It's an incredible name. I love it. It's catchy. It's great. And yeah, it means like, for me, out on a limb, like you're going out on a limb, like you're like, F it. And I kind of love it. Like, that's kind of how I live my life sometimes. I'm like, well, going for it.
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3 method. Just go do it.
Exactly.
I gotta create a montage. I always see like on TV, like everyone says like an analysis or something. They're like, oh, he's going out on a limb. I gotta make a montage. But like, I see Shaq and all these other big names say it. So and be like, see, they talk about my brand.
Exactly. Hey, and give yourself a little trademark on that. Like, do the whole thing.
100%.
Do the whole thing.
Well, yeah. So, and then Seek and Set Free. That was that before Torch then?
It was before Torch. I got the LLC before Torch, and Seek and Set Free actually was the name of my my personal training. So I was like,
Oh, no way.
yeah, it kind of was that at first. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'll do like fitness and retreats and like whatever. I was kind of like realizing in that time of my life, I think I made Seek and Set Free like a couple months before Torch. And I started both of them like at the same time. It was like the worst idea ever. Like, don't start two businesses at the same time. But I mean, I couldn't, like, Torch came so randomly to me. I was just like, I can't just ignore it. And then
you can't ignore that.
Yeah, I was like, I can't ignore it. And then Seek and Set Free was like, I was going through a period where I realized a lot of women through COVID and stuff like that. I was reading some statistics about how depression was increasing and like women were struggling with like Zoom and stuff like that because you're constantly looking at a mirror pretty much all day instead of in person. So like women are like, you know, it's just like our confidence was just, it felt so lacking, and like we didn't value ourselves the way that we should value ourselves. And like I don't ever like call myself like a princess or a queen or anything like that. I don't do those types of things. But like in the sense, like women should really think of themselves and value themselves like royalty. I truly believe that. Like, yeah, you have to, because if you don't, men won't, or whoever you're pursuing, and it's just like no one will value you if you don't value yourself. And I just realized
exactly. How can you respect someone if you don't respect how can someone respect you if you don't respect yourself?
Exactly. So I was just like, I am sick and tired of, and I felt like the workspace and like my personal life, it felt very much of like people hating or like because of like, oh, she's an NFL cheerleader and this, and like I'm just gonna try to tear her down or whatever, blah, blah, like the negativity. And it was just like, how about you learn something, chick, from me, and how about you understand that I'm here and I'm trying to be supportive. Like, why are you so worried about me? Like, what? First of all, work on yourself. Like, I think people are so like, you know what I mean? It's like, go get in the gym, like focus on your own things. Like, if you have time to be hating on other people, like you're not doing enough. Enough. You need to fill your schedule, because I don't have time to be worried about anybody except what I'm doing today, because I'm like, I got a million things to do. And it's like, but that puts me in a place where I don't look at other people or other women like competition. I look at them as people who I can learn from. And like there's no reason to feel like you have to compete with another woman for anything. Like, we are all in this together as humans too, like men too, like we are all in this together. So it's like, stop competing and start learning from each other. And so like I was just like, women need, and I like expensive things and to do fun things and to travel and stuff. Who doesn't? And I was like, why and like my friends saw me traveling, so I told you I went to Paris and Ireland and like all these places, and they're like, oh my gosh, you get to do all these fun things. I'm like, first of all, it's not that expensive if you save your money and you spend it on the right things and the experiences, not like BS. And you can come too. I'm like, we can do a girls trip. I'm like, why aren't you coming? Take the time off and do it. So I was like, yeah, we're doing retreats. So that's where that came from.
That is so freaking cool. So you mentioned something interesting, which is, I think, is a really important thing to hit on. Like, there's people who were trying to be negative in your life and trying to like, shit on what you're doing. And because I know people try to do that to me, especially with baseball. Like, I just heard someone the other day, one of my friends was telling me that he knows somebody who's like, I thought of like, they knew like so many people better than me in baseball when I was younger. And I was like, okay. I was like, good for you. I was like, one, you never reach out to me, so I don't care what you think. And two, I work my ass off, and now where I'm at. So, I mean, congrats to you for trying to shit on me.
Exactly. And you have to block out the BS, and you have to think about it just the way that you did. And honestly, like, it's amazing how people can I remember I heard somebody say like, oh, she only made the Falcons because she was black. Like, and it's just like, okay, like you're just like people really have time, and you can't be mad about it. I honestly feel bad. Like, I'm just like,
it's laughable. It's laughable.
It is. And I'm like, I'm over, like you said, we're working our asses off. I'm like, and that's why I don't have time to be worried about other people. I'm like, if we want to be cool, we want to be friends, I'm here mutually supporting you, and I'm expecting the same in return. Like, if you don't feel that way, I don't have time for you, but I'm not rooting against you. I'm not going to go in return and talk shit about you because I don't have time, first of all. And it's like, I don't want to be that person either. Like, I hate being that person that's like talking about other people negatively. It's like,
It makes zero sense. That's a fake person. That's a fake person.
Exactly. And it's like, you don't know what other people are going through either. Like you,
Yes.
like during that time, it's like, I was really struggling with, like I told you, with like finding like how to balance, like, you know, working out and eating well and like my everything. Like, it's just like, and family stuff, whatever. Like, you never know what goes on in someone's life. Like,
Yes, you got to stop and think.
Stop and think about it and be like, okay, do I really want to add more shit onto this person's life? I don't know why we've said shit so many times in this podcast.
Hey,
but
it's natural.
it is natural. And I'm just saying, I think people need to do a better job of understanding that everyone's trying to do the best that they can. You have to be understanding and like focus on yourself and like be happy with yourself, so then you don't have to focus on other people and be negative about other people. It's pointless. Yeah. Start a business and find out how much time you got to talk about other people. Like, honestly, it's so funny because I see people on like Facebook and like, or like when I started Torch, I like put it on there. I saw I got like a lot of hits on Facebook like the first couple weeks that I was like putting it out there, because military women started seeing it. I put it on TikTok, whatever. The comments were the funny ones are like, oh, I'm just here to see the negative comments about this girl's this, or like what a stupid idea, or whatever, blah blah. But then there's always the positive ones too that are like, this is genius and this is whatever, blah blah. But like, I look at those people who have the time to actually comment, like post it, then like I'm like, honestly, like I feel so bad for you. Have so much time.
You got exactly. They're the people who aren't doing anything with their lives, and they have to make themselves feel better. That's what makes them feel better. So good for them trying to do that.
I know, you feel bad. You're like, okay, lady, like have a nice life, like whatever. So you just have to give them grace, and you give yourself grace, and just know that if it's something that you want to go after, you're gonna have people that are gonna shit on you, or not gonna like you, or they're gonna try to tear you down, and you can't let anybody do that to you. You just can't.
You're right, and I'll tell you, there was back home there there's like this bar that everyone goes to on Thanksgiving Eve, and like, you know, I wanted to go just to, you know, see everyone, and you know, I get curious what people look like nowadays and what they do. Like, it gets curious, right?
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving. It's like the most lit night of the year or something.
Yeah, exactly. And there was people coming up to me, and they were like, "Can I just say I love what you're doing?" And like they're like, "Oh, is your video there?"
Oh, nope, you're good. You're good. Oh, hold on.
No, you're good. You're good.
Are you on? Oh wait, start video. Sorry.
There you go. You're good.
Sorry.
You're good. And he and like people were like, "Can I just say I love what you're doing?" And like, and it was cool to have people say that. And there was two people who knew out on a limb before they even knew me. Like, I didn't know these people; they just knew out on a limb. I was like, that's pretty cool. So like, but it's cool when you start getting that recognition. And like, I told one of my friends who I was telling about baseball, and I was telling him how there's people like being negative about that. Like, you know, just came up, and he's like, don't think about that. Like, there's no point in thinking about that. Like, you know, screw them.
Exactly. And true friends like that are so important to have.
Yeah. It's the coolest thing. And
it's great. People that do the supporting, like, you're like, oh, like, thank you. You know, really appreciate it.
It's nice. And like, I get weird sometimes, like, because I feel like, I don't know if I want to say I'm humble, because I definitely want to say I am, but like, I'm saying, like, when I tell people what I'm doing, like, I feel weird, because then I start thinking, like, they start thinking about what they're doing, and like, it bothers them sometimes. That bothers me, because like, I hate like trying to make someone feel bad, you know, like, I'm just being honest about what I do.
No, I know. It's so funny. I had this conversation with my photographer a little while ago when I first started, and we talked about how sometimes it's difficult to say all the things that we're doing. Like, I'm like, with everything that he does like 1,000,005 things too, because he grinds. Like, he's awesome. And so we really connected on that level. That's why I brought him into Torch, because I was like, you're a grinder. I need people around me who are like that.
There you go. The entourage.
Exactly, the tribe. Like, you got to build people like who are just great and they're go-getters. And so he's like, sometimes I can't even tell like my family what I'm doing, because they're not doing anything either. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes like it's like a family member who's just been sitting at home doing nothing or doing the same thing, and they're miserable or whatever. But I look at it as like, it's all about how you present it and how you're talking about it. And like, first of all, there's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself and like saying what you're doing. Like, you just have to be like, this is what I'm doing, and like be matter of fact about it. But also, like, it's just like anything. There's just a way to say it and to go about it and to be. It's not like you're out here and you're like flaunting like I have like blah blah. Like we're not those types of people. So like no, I think people who take it that way are just very insecure with themselves. But really, what we're really trying to do is just like, hey, look, like this is what I'm doing. I'm working my ass off. I'm really proud of myself because I think for us too, the type of people we are, it is hard to like. Well, for me, I know for me, it is a little uncomfortable sometimes. It was in the beginning, and I was like, oh, like I don't really want to be like boasting or like whatever. But I'm just like, I need to be proud of myself too. Like it's for Haley, but like I had to put myself first before I put other people's emotions first. You know what I mean? Because like you can like be like, oh, I feel bad like for saying this, but at the same time, you might really inspire someone like to go after what they want to go after, and maybe it's not their time. You know? Yeah, like I talk to people all the time. They're like, I just don't know what I'd want to do. That's so cool you did it, but I just don't know what I'd want to do. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. I didn't know I just started it randomly the other couple months ago. You know, I'm like, but when you do and you have something, I'll be here to help. You know, you can say stuff like that, like I'm here to help and I'm here to support. Like you, like I can't wait to buy one of your shirts. Like I love like the small business space is so amazing. It's so amazing. Like you want to support. I want to support everyone. I'm like, I don't have the money right now like that, but like I want us to buy your things, and I want to help you. And like the cool thing with my retreats, like I bring in like my friend did my from Strasbourg. She did my like custom T-shirts. She does custom T-shirts.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yes, like all those things, like bringing in women who are starting their own business, stuff like that. It's like you feel so good about yourself. Like you just have to understand people are where they are, and timing is timing, and all those things. Like, and if you're humble and you come at it with your good intentions, like you just have to know yourself. You just know yourself.
And that's where it ends with, you know, showing respect. And like when someone does say that stuff, like, you know, I love, like, there's people who call me up and like, you know, I motivate them. Like if they ask me a question, I pump them up and they're like, I appreciate it. Like someone just told me yesterday, cause I also sell wristbands. I've been selling like, this is the Christmas edition one I've been wearing. But yeah, it's just a little another side thing. But someone messaged me yesterday and they're like, dude, your energy is electric. And I was like, that was awesome to hear. Like, it's like, you got it. Like when I tell people about what I do, it's always about, you know, showing the respect, and they're like, oh, good for you. And I'm like, thank you. And then you ask what they're doing, and then you're like, oh, well, like you have like big ideas for them and you try to help them. So, I mean, it's so cool to have, you know, met you, because it's such a similar mindset. And the brand, I just started in April, so we're very new.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Well, congrats to you too. And we got to figure out a way how to collab on something. That would be sick. I would love to collab with something.
That would be epic. That's what I was asking about your shoes, because I'm like, yo, that's something that I low-key want to get into also. Like
down the line for sure.
Yeah, I want to get into like military boots and like military boots for
women. Badass.
That'd be so epic. Are you kidding me? Like that'd be so epic. I'm like, and the thing is, like, I just haven't started researching yet because I don't have time. But I know when I start, I know the answers are gonna come to me. I'm like, they're gonna be epic
for sure.
Too epic.
Epic. There you go. Like,
epic. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, you know, I'm sure you want to be like this too. Like at the end of the day, like I always like I have that on my vision board too. Like I want to be, you know, like a role model, like an inspiration. Like I want people to look up to me and like, you know, what I do. And yes, in baseball is like I'm in the like lower part of like independent league, and then the goal is to get signed and whatnot. But like to work your ass off and like to try that out, like it's the coolest thing. So like, and I'm sure you want to be like that, especially, you know, with women involved in the military.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, if your intentions are pure and you're doing your business, because you're passionate and you genuinely are trying to make a difference. Like that's the other thing. Like I want to kind of rope in like coaching and teaching, and like teaching women who are in the military about starting their own businesses and their resources and stuff like that. Like genuinely, like I sell my bodysuits, like that's just the product, but like you want a whole culture, because you know that you are coming from a good place. And it's like, and I'm realizing more and more the people who have started these companies, stuff like that, I think a lot of people look at them and they're like, oh, they're all in it for the money and stuff like that. But and maybe some of them are, but like honestly, like the heart that goes into starting anything, like It's so funny. I like look at packaging now when I'm like buying things, if it's like from a small business or from a company, or I look at all the things that go into doing what we're doing. And it's like, no, someone has to really like this, and they really have to really like put a lot of time and energy and effort into it. And it's not easy. And there's days where you fail, there's days where you succeed. It's just like, it's really hard. And so it's like, the utmost respect for entrepreneurs that have started companies and they're successful and they have a bunch of money, because at the end of the day, I think for me, even if I do like get a bunch of money, it's like, I'm just excited that I'm influential now and I can help other people and I can give back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can give back. Yeah. It's so important. It's so important.
You're so right. I mean, that's the whole mindset. Like, yes, money is such a positive, right?
Yeah.
But end of the day, it's you create that name for yourself, and the idea is to give back. That to me, like I said, I love putting smiles on people's faces. That's the whole mindset, to get that far, to get that big, to give back. And like my friend and I were collabing on a hoodie, and it's for all proceeds are going to charity and around our area, like this local charity we picked around our area. Like that shit.
Amazing.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. It is so cool, and it's like you know, it's honestly unreal. I'm really, really proud of you, and I'm really proud to like. I'm proud that you went to Penn State, or both Penn Staters, and we're being super like great alum and all that stuff. Like, it's just like the world needs more people like you. So thank you.
Well, no, like you too. Come on, this is why I asked you to be on. Like, I mean, I just felt we had, we would have a good connection. So I'm very happy with that. And I know we went over the time, but I applaud you. Is there before we cut anything off? Is there anything that I missed that you would like to add to this podcast?
Honestly, you hit everything. And I guess I would just like to say thank you for having me on, and thank you for being so, passionate and genuine, and like keep going. And just everyone who's listening, like, I hope they're inspired like by this conversation. So
well, I'm hoping that too. And this is like what I like to leave off on. What is one piece of advice you have for someone trying to get to a stage that you're currently at, whether it's women or just in general?
I would say you're going to go through struggles and you're going to go through hard times, and that is okay, and that is part of life, and you need to learn from those experiences, and that'll make you the most amazing person. If you can learn from your hard times and become better, you will be such an intuitive, intelligent, emotionally, and finding all the things. You will be so intelligent because of the hard things that you've been through. And like, just think like, I'm here today, but I've been through some really tough times, and it's like I learned from them, and I'm continuously working on myself and trying to spread love and not let the world get to you and tear you down. Don't let the world tear you down, and embrace those hard times and learn from them and become a better person.
You are. I mean, this is incredible. Where can people follow you at? Where do you could tag your stuff too?
Yeah, so my personal @IAM_Haley Marie, and then Torch is @Torch_by Haley Marie, and then Seek and Set Free is just Seek and Set Free.
Perfect. I'll put that on the screen. I'll add that in there. But Haley, I mean, I'm glad we had this. I hope to stay close stay on after this podcast quick. But I mean, I appreciate everything. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, we will. We're friends for life now.
Yes.
We're good to go. Supporting each other all the way. Here to support always.
Let's go. So we just went on a limb. Now you continue to grow this tree by doing something different, or just be yourself. Peace.
My homie selling chronic when my partner's pushing property. My DJ making him sandwiches so that he can rock with me. My upgrading overtime underappreciated. Damn, I feel the pain. Know that it's under alleviated. Feel like I'm under a microscope. Dopify my particles. So you'll see me pop up in little critical articles talking about who's the next to the best.